Hello, I'm Ruzzian and you're watching Break the Fake. They make them, we break them, and tell you everything you need to know. So let's check in on Russia, where reality seems to be taking a longer holiday than the US Congress. Recently, the Kursk region has been under fire. Normally, the Russian Ministry of Defense would be quick to blame pretty much anything on Ukraine. Tripped while walking down the street, clearly the Ukrainians put that rock in your path, right? In this case, however, while Ukraine is not officially confirming their participation in the attack, we all know what's going on. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Enter Dmitry Medvedev, Russia's former president turned social media influencer, as in writing under the influence, who apparently now moonlights as a motivational speaker for the Russian military. He's out there tweeting like he's auditioning for a spot in a Cold War reenactment, insisting that Russia must decisively defeat and crush the enemy. It's like watching a retired villain from a Bond movie trying to make a comeback. Honestly, you have to admire the consistency here. Russia's ability to recycle both its politicians and its propaganda is truly remarkable. Medvedev, once a president, now just another voice in the echo chamber, reminding us all that in Russia every crisis is just another episode of Break the Fake. How utterly convenient. And now for an exclusive look at Russia's hottest new reality TV hit. It's called The Ashes of Kursk. Yes, residents of the Kursk region are now posting videos from their very own shelling experience. Think of it as an explosive new twist on home videos, quite literally.
Блять, автоматы, солдаты валяются, ёбаный в рот, блять. Пиздец. Бля, ёбаный в рот, блять. Пиздец, нахуй.
Такая вот хуйня, блядь. Прокуратура, блядь, осталась, нахуй. Суд, блядь. Ну, людей, дома, блядь. Побило, нахуй, все. Стекла, блядь, фасады. Тут все, блядь, валяется, нахуй. Провода, блядь. Дома ни света, ни газа, ни воды, короче.
So it seems the Ukrainian army has been giving the Kursk region a rather intense makeover. And of course the social media has been buzzing about this. It's never nice to come under fire. But on the other hand, I'm quite sure a few of those Russian citizens there just a few days ago might have been praising Putin for his special military operation. So there you have it. What goes around sometimes really does come around. Now, let's dive into the latest from the never-ending circus that is Russian politics. Recently, the spotlight was stolen by none other than Vladimir Putin himself, who, after more than a day of silence, finally commented on the ongoing skirmishes in the Kursk region, starting a government meeting with what can only be described as accusing the Kiev regime of a major provocation. That's right, folks. Apparently, Ukraine daring to respond to ongoing aggression is a provocation.
Вот события в Курской области. Как известно, киевский режим предпринял очередную масштабную провокацию, ведет неизбирательную стрельбу из разных видов оружия, в том числе ракетного, по гражданским зданиям, жилым домам, машинам скорой помощи. Сразу же после нашего совещания у меня будет встреча с руководителями.
Imagine the audacity of a leader who has been happily sending troops across the Ukrainian border for over 2 years. And actually this goes back to 2014, Crimea, all that. And now he's crying foul because the fight spilled into his backyard. According to Putin, it's only a provocation when it's on the Russian soil. It's like a burglar suing the homeowner for getting wrath on his way out of the window, really. So here we have it. In Putin's world, Russia can invade countries, but heaven forbid those countries should ever think about stepping over the line back into Russia. It's not just double standards, it's Putin standards. And let's be honest, those standards are so low they are basically subterranean. Now, we're going to dive into the world of war reports, and oh, it's a doozy coming out of the Kursk region. Let's just say Ukraine has decided to give Russia a little taste of its own medicine, penetrating 15 kilometers into Russian territory. That's double the depth achieved by Russian forces during their last scenic tour of the Kharkiv region, by the way. Talk about outdoing your host. Now, most of the juicy details come from Russian sources, as Ukraine is currently keeping things tighter than a drum solo at a rock concert. And let's sprinkle in some classic geopolitical intrigue, with accusations flying at Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko, who apparently might be giving Ukraine a silent nod, or maybe even a secret handshake. Russian propaganda is having a field day reminiscing about military maneuvers called Bachka, suggesting that Ukrainian forces were redeployed from the Belarusian border just in time to crash through Kursk. It seems like Lukashenko might have pulled his troops back in July, whispering, "We're not fighting," while simultaneously winking at Ukraine. And let us not overlook the non-aggression pact vibes that Russian channels are sobbing about. They are hinting that Lukashenko's peace initiatives might have just been the starter pistol for Ukraine's sprint into the Russian backyard. Honestly, at this point, Lukashenko's maneuvering seems less like strategic military planning and more like someone frantically swapping seats at a dinner party to avoid sitting next to that one uncle who won't stop talking about his model train collection, for example. So, cheers to unexpected moves in the ongoing soap opera that is Eastern European politics, especially of the post-Soviet kind. Now, let's check in on Russia's own TikTok warriors, the infamous Kadyrov commandos. That's right, these guys are making waves far beyond the battlefield, one viral video at a time. And what are they famous for? Oh, just the usual, shooting their own retreating troops and terrorizing civilians. Truly, the heroes nobody asked for. And now they're defending the Kursk region, or so they claim in their latest online blockbuster. The video, shared for their adoring fans, showcases their fierce combat skills against, wait for it, some of Russia's oldest and most formidable enemies, trees. Yes, trees. Because when you can't find any actual soldiers to fight, why not declare war on nature itself?
Скоро Украины не будет, не переживайте. Ахмад сила, Аллаху Акбар. Они больше не появятся здесь никогда в жизни. Мы Ахмад сила, Аллаху Акбар.
So, here they are, the elite forces of Ramzan Kadyrov fighting the good fight in a forest, proving that no tree is safe from the might of Chechnya's bravest. Who needs traditional warfare when you can just create your own action-packed narrative, right? Remember, folks, if a tree falls in Kursk and it's not on TikTok, did it really fall? And finally, let's wrap it all up with a trip to Mexico, where the Ukrainian embassy is spicing things up in the diplomatic realm by calling for the arrest of a very special guest, none other than President, or should we say dictator, Vladimir Putin himself. Yes, Putin was cordially invited to Mexico City to join the inauguration of President-elect Claudia Sheinbaum. Because when you think celebrations, who better to have around than a man accused of war crimes? Ukraine, ever the stickler for international law, kindly reminded Mexico that their VIP guest is actually a wanted man, chased by none other than the International Criminal Court. It's almost like inviting the big bad wolf to a housewarming party. The embassy pointed out that Putin is suspected of kidnapping Ukrainian children and whisking them away to Russia, activities generally frowned upon at parties. Wouldn't you agree? So, will Mexico roll out the red carpet or the handcuffs? Either way, it's sure to be an event to remember. Who needs a piñata when you've got international drama knocking at your door? And with this, we conclude this episode of Break the Fake. Please stay with us here on TVP World for more latest news and updates.